welcome back to Embrace the Impact. We have an episode for you guys today. We got the fathers here to talk to you guys about their perspective on raising a child on the spectrum. So we want, it's not just about us moms. The dads are in on this too. So we want to get their views and how they feel about having a child on the spectrum. So introducing Gary Tony, which is George's dad, and also Cori Coleman, which is Sierra.
What's up, everybody? What's up?
All right, so we're going to get started, guys. So we really don't have questions. We just kind of want them to, we'll ask as we go along, but we want them to kind of elaborate on, first of all, Gary, how did it feel when you first heard that Georgia was autistic? Like, what was that like for you as a dad? What was your feelings or your thoughts when she was diagnosed?
My first thoughts was, what is autism? Because we had no clue what that was. So after doing research, see how broad the spectrum was, we didn't know where she was going to end up on the spectrum. So we just had to kind of play it day by day, year by year, So as time went on, we kind of saw that, we were going to be on the low end of the spectrum. So
higher end.
Oh, well, on the higher end, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of braced ourselves for the challenges, to come. So
did you feel scared? Did you feel like mad or upset, or like what was your feelings like about autism, especially when you found out what it was? Like, how were you feeling?
Yeah, I guess, I have the mentality that I can only control what I can control. So that was the tough part about being a dad, is that I couldn't control it.
Yeah.
So, it was definitely, I guess, scared. We were scared.
Absolutely.
Because we didn't know what to expect. And it seemed like every day was a different challenge. So it was hard to put our finger on it.
Mm-hmm.
And as parents, we want to make sure that we take care of our kids and protect our kids. And that was the main thing, was just being the protectors.
I think for me, it was, I don't want to sound crazy, but I felt like I have failed giving him a normal daughter. I failed, and because we wanted another little girl, and I was like, I couldn't even give him a normal little girl. I was angry, and I think he was more of the level-headed one. Like, we got this. It doesn't matter what she has. We're still her parents. We're still gonna love her.
She's my daughter.
So
100%.
That's how it was on my end. But from him, it was I couldn't have got through it without him. So, Cori, what was it like for you? Or pass it over to Sierra. Let me hear from you guys.
So, Cori,
Mm-hmm.
we did our research when we started seeing signs, but once we got the full diagnosis at the age of 2, how did it make you feel when we actually sat down and discussed what we were told?
So, I will say I do appreciate Sierra for doing a great job at just providing a comfort blanket, walking into the idea that autism is, a reality that we're gonna have to accept. And that was pre 2 years old. So the
Mhm.
question came up as to, will he be autistic? It was still the if factor.
Right.
Now, as far as finding out, I will say it was mixed emotions. And I have to concur. Like, you do wonder immediately, what is the next,
Yes.
what is the next stage gonna look like? As next stage of parenting gonna look like for you? Is it gonna be similar to what you've experienced? Is it gonna be this great challenge to what you've experienced? But I was able to tackle it with a more, I would say, I drew back all the doubt and the negativity. I used to work for a company that employed He's
Sorry,
awesome.
y'all. Christian's here,
That
so
employed high functioning
Autism parenting.
yes, right.
Find
That
it.
employed high functioning individuals with disabilities. So I was able to I was able to work with individuals who were able to have jobs, who were
Right.
able to go out and perform tasks that some would, not expect when you think about individuals with disabilities. There, one thing that I think you guys referenced on was that sometimes, people just get a instant, stereotype in their mind as soon as you say a word, autism, and they just think the worst. And it's like you guys said, it's a scale. It doesn't have to be as bad as you think it is. It's just what you get is is what you try to nurture what you get. So
Right.
having that mind state, when I found out, I wasn't necessarily shocked,
Mhm.
but I started off a bit delusional.
Right.
um, at first I just told myself like it won't change anything.
Right.
And you know, that really was the mind state that I put myself in, thinking that nothing would change. And I
Right.
think that was more of a delusion for me,
Right.
telling myself that this is just going to be just like raising, our other children. And the reality is it's not.
Right.
Yeah, totally different.
I want to ask you guys, any one of you can jump in. What has been the most challenging um, in your
Mm.
lives, as far as having a child on the spectrum? Like, what has been the most challenging part of it?
I would say for me, everything is different.
Hmm.
Everything is different. He eats different. He talks different. He thinks different. His emotions are different. He regulates
Mhm.
them different. So everything is different. And we both come, from having multiple children before our
Right.
last child has autism. So everything is different. Christian is
Right.
7 years old and he's still wearing pull-ups at night. It's
Right.
different. We never had experienced that before. He likes his food cut up. I mean, everything. Pizza, chicken,
Absolutely.
everything has to be cut up. So it's a different way of parenting with him individually.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think for me, as a dad, I'm pretty sure that we aim to be providers and we aim to be protectors. And um I think my biggest concern, if I had well, you asked what was the biggest challenge. How do I
Right.
protect my son?
Mm.
And to the point that was made, those certain things you just don't have control over.
Right.
And realizing there are certain areas that I just won't have control to protect him. There are certain, you know, when you feel like you have to just, you know, be a smothering protector. And
Right.
the reality is that, there are some instances where he has to go to school. He has to get on the school bus. He has to, walk from the school bus to the house, and he has to make transitions from one place to another, and you just won't be present for that.
Right.
And you have to let those lingering thoughts go. So the biggest challenge I would say is just allowing him to grow naturally and still try to protect him without letting my worries get in the way.
Right. Right.
All right.
Gary, what about for you?
My biggest challenge, and it may be simple, but my biggest challenge is not being able to connect with her. Like say when I come home from work, long day at work, Georgia brightens my day. Like no matter what kind of day I'm having, she brightens my day. And when I come home, she's the first person that I go to.
Every time.
And and some days she's like, I don't want to deal with you. Don't touch me, don't kiss me, don't talk to me. And that's kind of like not being able to get on her level and understand where she's coming from.
Yes.
So I can, be maybe a little more sensitive to her needs, uh, and just being able to connect with her and understand what she needs, especially when maybe she's going through something like we just don't know what it is. So that's the biggest challenge for me.
Especially being a teenager now, it's like nobody touched me, nobody come here.
Yeah, yeah,
I think the most
Mhm,
challenging for me is basic. It's just her not being able to communicate with us, as far as
mhm,
how she's feeling or what's wrong or what's hurting or what's bothering her. Did somebody mess with you? You know,
mhm,
make you mad, so those are the most challenging for me, is just not being able to don't get me wrong, they do communicate in their own way
Right.
to a
Mhm.
certain
Right.
extent.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love to ask her, how was your day?
Yeah.
And she'd be able to
Mhm.
tell me those
Yeah.
things. So that's
Yeah.
what I mean by communication,
Mhm.
or, what's hurting. We always have to figure it out. And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
So those are some good challenges that we face, and there's a lot more challenges that we can't even begin to jump into.
True.
It will take all day, but there's a lot of challenges for us as parents. Sierra, I don't know if you have any questions you want to ask the dads, but yeah, feel free.
The question I would ask you guys, because I had to ask myself this as well, is do you still look at, Georgia? Yes, she has her delays and she has things like that, but she's very bright, very smart. Just me meeting her for the first time, she's still a teenager. She has those moves, as modes. But
Yes.
do you look at the future? Does the future ever, come to mind? Like, will she be able to do this, or can she
Good
do this?
question.
Mhm.
Do y'all look at that? Because I know we do all the time. But for
Good
dads, how do you guys, think about the future for your children?
Mhm.
good question.
Yeah.
Good
For
question.
me, we used to look at the future a lot. We used to try to look down the road, but that's also a challenging part. Is trying to figure out, what is life going to look like 5 years from now, 10 years from now. And we're older. So 10 years from now, we're going to be in our 60s. So what does that look like? And I can't look that far down the road. I just have to look almost one day at a time, and let things kind of play itself out. So looking down the road at her future, I can't say that I look that far down the road. I just kind of stay in the moment.
For me, I think about it periodically. Trying not to cry, but I get a lot of questions far as, will you put her in a home, if you guys can't, and those are things I can't worry about or think about. I don't know how I'm going to feel down the road, or what the challenges are going to, do to me. So I have to kind of wait that part out. I can't say I won't, and I can't judge other people for doing that, because if that works for you, you do what you have to do as a parent. But I can't say if that's something I'm going to do. I don't know. But far as future wise, I do think about things like my husband won't be able to walk her down the aisle, and we forget, we don't, a lot of people don't think about those things, but I do. If something happens to us, what's going to happen to her? So I'll find myself always trying to plan, or think about those things. And maybe I need to write this down. Maybe I need to, call a lawyer and get some things in order, which I'm going to do, because we do have to think about things like that. I think about, my baby may not be able to go to college and have a career and things like that. So I do think about those things, but I know there's only so much, as Gary said earlier, we can control. So again, we just have to do the best we can and give her the best life we can. It won't be like our other children. Hell, they don't go to college either, but we could just do our best and hope for the best, and that's all we could do. How about you guys?
So Gary hit the nail on the head. You can't look for. I started looking. There was a birthday party that I took him to, a good friend of mine. And it was at Sky Zone. I don't know if you guys have a Sky Zone over there.
Right.
It's the, trampoline park, just to say
Right. Yeah.
trampoline
Oh
park.
yeah, for sure.
And after you do your research and you have your live experience with your child, and you're starting to learn sensory, you're starting to learn habits, and you're starting to learn the consistencies. When I took him out there and we entered into that environment, when I took him out, before we even got there, actually, I was thinking so much about what his experience was going to be like. I
Mm.
mean, we didn't even walk in the building yet. And I'm
Oh
like, oh my God, is he gonna jump and he's gonna
Right.
hurt himself? Are the kids gonna talk to him? Like, is it gonna be too loud? And I just started thinking so far ahead and creating all of these obstacles that hasn't even faced yet.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
and it was by the time I walked in the door, he was with me for most of the time, but as I watched him, to Gary's point, like I had to take myself out of the future and stay in the center myself in the moment of what was actually happening. And as I watched him, he was figuring things out on his own, and sometimes he looked worried, sometimes he looked scared, sometimes he looked happy, and sometimes he looked, like he was just figuring it out. And I'm like, okay, you need to be here right now. Don't look at how the rest of don't look at the next obstacle in the park that he's going to. Be right here. Look at
Right.
him jumping and smiling and enjoying, and
Right.
he'll figure it out. The funny thing was, after I stopped looking ahead and he went in the park. They had this block that you can walk up the steps and then you jump off the block. It's probably about maybe 8 to 10 feet high, and he got up there, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna slip and fall and miss it. It's gonna be bad. And he
Right.
got up there and he just looked over and he was like, nah, and just walked right back down. And I'm like, oh, well, he figured that out on his own. Like, I didn't have to
Right.
run up there and try to, predict what was gonna happen. Like he figured it out. So, it's moments like that that I would say I learned also to just stop looking ahead and
Right.
let whatever happens in the moment. We get a IEP meeting. And I started in the last IEP meeting, I started to ask them like, hey, did you guys notice any unique skills or any unique, because autism, children on the spectrum have very extremely unique skills that come with it. So I'm like, wait, you're thinking about this because you want to know if he can do these things later.
Right.
And it's like, nah, you can't do that. Like, don't even ask them. They're focused on right now. What is he working on right now? What is he building on right now? And how
Right.
he can get better with that. So that's pretty much,
Awesome.
I concur, Gary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Sean, you already know my piece on everything, but I mean, I worry about everything that we all stated, and then I try not to
Absolutely.
worry. I worry about how people or other kids will treat him too. He does have friends. He's had these friends for about 3-4 years now,
Yeah.
and they've been in the same class from pre-K to now, first grade.
Mhm.
But it's gonna be a time where he won't have those friends and he won't have those people, and I do worry about that. But he'll be fine. Right
What's up,
now.
Christian?
Hi,
Say
Christian.
hello.
Hi.
Hi.
There
But it's everything. But like you said, you have to take it day by day. We cannot
You
sit
do.
here and think about the
Yeah.
next 5-10 years because we just won't worry ourselves.
Yeah,
Oh,
absolutely.
well,
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like an every hour thing.
Mhm.
Like right now, after we finish, I'm gonna be like, all right, what we about to do next? It's about to
Right.
eat. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Yeah.
time has flown by, but before we end real quick from the dads, I want to know what has been the best part about being Georgia and Christian's dads. What has been the best moments for you? What do you like about being their dads?
Good question.
I know it's some good moments, y'all. I know it.
No,
Oh,
I think we're trying to figure out which good
Right.
moment.
What
There are
has
quite a
been the
few.
best part
Yeah.
about being their dad? I want to know.
I could definitely go first because
Go ahead, Gary. You got it.
we've been doing this for 17 years, man.
17 years.
You know what I mean? So
Hey.
yeah, congrats. We will get there. We're the
Yeah.
veterans right here.
yeah. And, oh yeah, you're gonna get there.
No
for
rush.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. So the best thing for me about being George's dad is what it has done for me personally.
Mm.
Mhm.
I find myself a little more sensitive to people with disabilities. If I see because I'm a sales rep, so I'm out and about through the town all day long. So I see people with disabilities, older, younger, and just to connect with them, through being George's dad, it definitely shines a light on, me connecting with them,
Mm. More empathy.
Yeah. So some of the parents, they're like, wow, I can't believe, he gave you a fist bump. He never does that. Or,
Aw.
Just stuff like that,
Yeah.
that has given me the tools to be able to recognize and be a little more sensitive.
So you connect more with the kids or the people with disabilities.
Yes,
That's
for
awesome.
sure. So
Yeah.
that, it has definitely given me the tools necessary to just be there for other parents if when need be.
Absolutely. That was a great answer,
That
Gary.
was.
Yeah.
Corey.
Oh man, I would say I'm honestly gonna say for me it has to be watching him face his challenges and watching him take on new ones. Like watching him use problem solving skills, watching him use self reasoning, like and
figure things out on his own.
yeah, and even that's still developing for him, but even his emotional intelligence at times, I love observing those moments. I'll give you, an example. We just went bowling,
Yeah.
I mean, we were like, dude, do you want the little dinosaur? There's a little dinosaur cart that you can, put the bowler ball in and just roll down.
Yeah.
And he's like, get that thing out of here. I don't want that. Like, I'm like, I'm okay. What's next? And he goes to the rack. He picks up the bowling ball.
Yeah.
He carries it over to the lane. And after a while, we went through one game, and he used that method of just throwing it out. And then game two, he puts his fingers inside on his own. No one's instructing him to do this. And he just starts bowling. Obviously he didn't win, but but it's all good. That's neither here nor there. And that picture that you posted, you real funny for that. She posted the game she won. I only won 3, but it's okay. Anyway, so he's using reasoning and problem solving right there. And I love seeing that because, like, again, back to the challenges of being a protector and a provider, the first thing that we think as dads is, I got to go fix that problem.
Yeah.
If I see that something's wrong, I got to go address it. And he just worked it out. When we carried a hamper up the stairs, he's like, I got it. Can I get it? And he grabs the handle, and I've watched his hand change places over the years where he learns to grab different places to where to apply strength.
Right.
Beautiful. Because again, I think for just being a dad of an autistic child, you assume that you have to guide all the time.
Right.
And just to circle back through everything we discussed, like Gary said, take away don't remove goals, but remove the constant concerns about what is outlined in the future. And then go back to what you can control, but also still allow the development that they're going to have and appreciate that development. So I would say those are some of my best moments is just watching him overcome, I know you guys saw the video where, he solved the math problem, after you had hushed us up.
They're smart. They're definitely smart.
Yeah. But no, it was, it's beautiful. And I know with Georgia, I know you guys are seeing those moments like where she's overcoming those challenges that you're like, come on now. That's great.
No, you know, it's funny that you say that because I posted a video of her playing Candyland with the therapist. And I'm like, I lost the patience because I'm like, girl, move to yellow and Harry yellow.
You know what to do.
But I lost patience, girl. The therapist was like, come on, you can do it. I'm like, girl, move that to yellow. But to see her knowing what to do and how to play the little things you think they will never know how to do, and that they surprise you and shock you, and it's like she know how to play Candyland.
What? Her catching the ball.
I was about to say that one.
Yeah,
I saw that video with her catching the ball, and it's because when we found out that they have autism, they're telling us everything that they can't do.
They can't.
We're already programmed. They're not going to be able to do that, and lo and behold, they surprise us every day.
Every day.
Right.
Every day. Well, I want to end with Sierra. I'm gonna get your take on it too, real quick. But I want to say how Gary has been such a help to me as a dad because listen, a lot of parents are single parents. A lot of fathers don't stick around. Hell, a lot of mothers don't stick around. So for us to be not only African American, but our dads, our husbands are still here. We're going on almost 30 years together. I don't know how many years you guys been together.
Okay, Gary, let's go. All right, go ahead.
Yeah.
So
Give
for
yourself
us
some flowers.
still, for
All
us
right.
to be still in this and going strong, that says a lot. And
Yeah, absolutely, it does.
I just want to say I thank him and I love him for being here for me.
Mhm.
Because there's many things that he does to help out and to do his part in this journey. But
Mhm.
there's one thing he does that I want to shine a light on, and that is Gary took up cooking, and you couldn't get Gary in a grocery store or a kitchen. So
Period.
for him to go to the
Period.
grocery store every night
Every night.
and go in the
Mhm.
kitchen after work and
Mhm.
cook dinner and serve me up for the past over a year now, I love this man
So,
to death.
Gary, I know you got your apron. I know you got I know you
I
got the
gotta
cooking.
get him one. I gotta
Right.
get
You
him
ain't
one.
get him. He gotta get him a hat
Now you
too,
got
girl. You need a hat.
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
we call him Chef Gary now. So, you know,
Nice.
he be doing his own little twist on things now. He done got good with it, real good with it.
Switch it
So
up.
I just
I love
appreciate
it.
that from my point of view as mom and, you know, George's mom and him as her dad. I appreciate him. And I feel so blessed because a lot of people don't have that. And when you do, you have to be grateful for that and thank God for that because it does help. So your perspective, Sierra, and then we'll wrap it up. But I want to know how you feel, you know, give Cori his kudos.
I will. I'm gonna give him his flowers. I will say, I do want to say to all the single parents, y'all strong. I mean,
Oh yeah,
I couldn't
Yes, you guys. Yeah.
imagine being a single
can't
parent
imagine.
with
Mhm.
a special needs child. I will
Absolutely.
say that 100%. I am grateful that, you know, we don't have our 30 years yet, y'all. We gonna get it, but we have been together Christian's entire
We on the
life,
way. Yeah.
and we've been married for almost 4 years now. And I wouldn't do this with anybody else, you know. And no shade, but I wish all my kids was together with this man because I
Oh,
don't do this by myself. Regardless of how much I do physically, I don't
exactly.
do this by myself.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
to talk about the whole household aspect, y'all, I don't do laundry. I hate laundry. And I will say that this man does the laundry and I don't like to drive anymore.
Oh,
So I'm
yeah.
a passenger princess because he drives me
Yeah, she
everywhere.
doesn't drive.
And I don't drive. I don't if I don't. It's like a chore for me and I don't want to do it. But Cori has been nothing but amazing, not just with
Oh,
Christian, but with his stepson, with Chase and all of his challenges. I couldn't do it without him. I
that's
can't teach these boys how to be men, and I have the perfect person to help me do that.
Thank
absolutely.
you. I
So thank
appreciate
you.
that. Yes, ma'am.
And Christian is blessed and lucky to have Cori as his dad.
That
And I know you guys feel the same way
absolutely.
that our kids will have their parents together forever. There will be no
Mhm.
house hopping
Yeah.
because that gets rough. And we don't have to worry about that with Georgia and Christian because they have everything they need up under one roof.
That's right.
So
Right.
thank y'all because it's rough for us, and I know as dads, it's rough for y'all as well. It's very
Absolutely.
emotional. So thank y'all.
I will
Absolutely.
say I think that is something that, all of us here have to just take a second and soak in, like, the whole sticking together part, the fact that we are doing this together, like, that is really,
It's
really
beautiful.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Huge.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
absolutely. Yeah.
So thank
Yeah.
you guys for being such awesome, amazing dads because we definitely could not be on this journey without you. You guys definitely take off a load. I mean, I get a lot of people on my social media, when they see me doing things with Georgia, like, well, where's her dad? Well, is he helping you? I'm like, girl, he at work.
Right.
So they gotta work, but he
Right.
does his part. And they forget Georgia is almost 18. So now with her being a teenager, she's in the stages where I don't want dad. I want mom. I don't want that. I want mom. I want. So
Mhm.
they go through different stages where, they're just attached to one parent, So
Mhm.
it's no shade to them. It doesn't say she love him any less. It doesn't say that he's not doing his part. She has her preferences. We give it to her because we need peace.
Right.
So, period.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much. We love you guys, and we just want everybody to know that this journey is not for the weak. It's not easy. So to have our partners by our side means the world. So we hope you guys enjoyed our episode of the dads.
Definitely.
And we will probably do this again.
We will.
but
Looking forward to it. Yeah, looking forward.
We will.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Cori.
What's up?
Thank
Hey,
Gary.
no problem.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Gary.
Yes.
Yes, thank y'all. We
Bye,
appreciate y'all.
There's my man right
Absolutely.
there.
Tell Georgia we said hello.
There he is.
So until next time, guys, we will be back next week with a new episode. But thank you for joining us today, and we hope you enjoyed, and hope you guys can understand how important it is for the dads on this journey as well. But we'll see you guys next time. From
See y'all
Embrace.
next
You already
time.
done. Have a
Bye,
good one. Thanks for having
guys.
me.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Okay, Gary. So, what advice or message would you give to fathers that are receiving the diagnosis for the first time for their child, or fathers in general that are raising kids that are on the spectrum? What would your advice or message be to them?
My advice to a father with a child that's been recently diagnosed, or a family that could be already with the diagnosis, I would say to have some patience, have some understanding, and like I always say, read the room. Your role may change, your spouse's role may change, but in the end, you have to work as a team and be able to get through any challenges that may come your way.
Thank you. Perfect. Great answer. Thank you, Gary.
Cori, what advice would you give to a dad whose child was just diagnosed with autism? Or what advice would you give to a father in general after a diagnosis of autism?
My advice to the dads out there that are processing this information, list your concerns. Whether you use a journal, whether you use your notes app on your phone, whether you use your laptop, list your concerns. You know, this is time to be open. This is time to be real with yourself. This is time to actually factor in what your expectations are, what you're looking forward to. You need to write these things down, or you just need to document it, or make a mental note of what your concerns are. And the reason why you want to do this is because those concerns are going to become your research points. Because the next thing you need to do is you need to get educated. You need to get educated on those concerns, because you may and more than likely will find answers. And that is important to beginning this journey. I know it's going to feel tough, and it's going to feel almost impossible to prepare for something that you've never experienced. It may sound a little crazy, but you can prepare for the unknown.